Welcome to an NHL News Report, and yes, today we have who will make the playoffs after playoffs this 2019-2020 season for the teams who did not make the playoffs. So let me name off the teams that have not made the playoffs. On the eastern side of the Metro, it was only Philly, Rangers, and the Devils. For the Atlantic side, on the eastern side, the Canadiens, Panthers, Sabres, Red Wings, and Senators. On the western side of the Central Division was the Blackhawks and the Wild. It was a really good, solid Central Division. And then looking on the Pacific was pretty bad, but except two teams, Arizona and Vancouver. But looking here, Coyotes, Vancouver, Ducks, Oilers, and the Kings. Now let's start on the eastern side here of our left side over here. Let's get into it. So these three teams have really improved dramatically in the basically overall team ever since the 18-19 season after having a down year. Those three teams, Philly and the Devils made the playoffs in 17-18 season, had a down year in 18-19 season, but look like they're positive now going into the 19-2020 season. But the Rangers also have missed the second straight year after having a pretty good run with the team for many years with Ryan McDonough leading the team. But looking here, let's look at the Philadelphia Flyers, the team of brotherly love. Sorry, can't say it. Brotherly love. There we go. They are 37, 8 of 82 points. This is the 18-19 stats. Looking at this, they started off meager, then they really didn't get together. The goaltending was the problem. The goal scoring was not. The goaltending was. Then they got Carter Hart, brought him up from Lehigh Valley Phantoms. Played absolutely fantastic. 3-2 over the Red Wings. Remember that first game? I remember it. With 15 shots on goal. It's like, good job by Hart winning that game. And ever since was really good for them. And his backup next year will be Elliott. So there was many 7 goaltenders. I think it was 8. I think it beat all-time. Yes, it did beat all-time record of goaltenders of a win. So looking at that, that is pretty impressive to have all those goaltenders, but not really because you don't know which goaltender you're gonna use. But looking at that, they had second half of the season bounced back, but just not enough. And then at the end of that, like later March to early April, they just lost it a little and started to lose a little. So that's what made them 37, 8. That really they couldn't get the cusp on it. You could really see the time was narrowing down and they couldn't get it. Rangers were 32, 36, and 14 with 78 points. We knew that the Rangers were going to be out of the playoffs for the second straight year. The whole team said, no, we are going into a rebuild. We're selling players, this and that. Trade at the deadline, Kevin Hayes, other players they got rid of, Matt Zuccarello, and the other years, 17-18 season, Ryan McDonough, and other ones to start to make this rebuild. And now it looks like this team is ready to come back next year with picking second overall, Capo Caco picking up Adam Fox as second and third from Carolina Hurricanes. Georgiev being that backup goaltender for the Rangers has really shown that he can start to take over that number 1 position with Lundqvist and play that, share it up, and Lundqvist have a better team. And most important, that Tommy Panarin has signed with the New York Rangers. So that's a big part right there, knowing that he can come. And there's a little bit on the down the middle they can work on. But talking about that, this team can really show they can probably make the playoffs, but of course closer than before, that 32, 36, and 14. Definitely I can see more of a winning record over a losing record, definitely. Moving on to the Devils, of a team that in 17-18 season really had a really good bounce back year after never making the playoffs since 2012, and then going up to the final, playing against LA, losing, and that's when they had Marty Brodeur. Going to that is Devils never made it into 17-18 season, got into that second wild card spot, lost against the Lightning, and said bye-bye, sorry, oh man, you know what I mean, never happened. But looking at this, that the Devils were 31, 41, and 10 with 72 points. They really had a down year. First of all, one of the things that they had a down year was Taylor Hall missed most of the games. He had only played around 30 games last season. So that really shows you a Hart Trophy final winner of former Hart Trophy winner now play most of the games, and the team just wasn't there. Goaltending was a huge factor. Kincaid didn't play like he did in 17-18 season. Schneider had problems. He was out for a while with his hip. Blackwood finally took over, played, showed like he can be very smart and ready to play. So we'll see what happens here. Moving on to the Atlantic Division here, Montreal Canadiens 44, 30, and 8 with 96 points. This team was right there, literally 2 points away from making the playoffs. Columbus takes the cusp. Boom. Montreal played some really tough teams in the last couple of games. They played Toronto. They played the Lightning. They played many good teams, Capitals, and the Columbus Blue Jackets played like Rangers, Ottawa, teams that they can just easily win. So that's also a factor too, but that Columbus kind of turned it on and got themselves, pulled themselves and brought them back to the playoffs. It was kind of like Montreal, Columbus going back and forth for like 4 weeks, you know what I mean? And Montreal really didn't have a down spot. The only down spot they really had was in the Western Conference when they lost 3 games. It was LA. Well, they won that one, and then they lost to San Jose and Anaheim, and one more, I forget. And that just basically set them off, almost. But they were still winning, right? Look at the Panthers. I think Montreal has a chance to make it. We're going to go through all that. Look at the Panthers of 36, 32, and 14 of 86 points. This was a down year because not of the scoring, not of the defense, of one thing. And that was the goaltending. Luongo and Weimel. Luongo, you can't blame him after 39 years old. You know what I mean? You can't blame him for that. Of course, now he's not around anymore. He retired. But in Weimel, just not showing what he was. Like he was what he used to be in Toronto, and just having a horrible year with the Panthers. And that's why Dave Talon wanted to get rid of both goaltenders, Luongo and Weimel. He's like, I don't care if it's a new team. No Weimel, no Luongo. Get rid of those two new goaltenders, Bobrovsky and Mojaplan. It looks like it's gonna be. But Mojaplan did play. Sam Mojaplan did play really well. So at the end of the season, pretty well, I gotta say. Sabres move on to the Sabres, the Buffalo Sabres, 33, 39, and 10 of 76 points. This team right here really started off really good. Really, really good. Hutton, Allmark looked like a genius. But you also could see here the goaltending started to stink. Allmark and Hutton, both of them were over or on a 3.00 goals against average. No 290, nothing. It was 3 and over. So you can really see what I'm talking about here. The Red Wings, it was still in the rebuild, second straight year. Was it second or third? No. 1, 2. No, this is the third year. Going into the fourth year of the rebuild almost. It takes a little while for some teams, but some teams they got really good. But 32, 40, and 10 with 74 points here. Looking at that, that's they really showed more. I gotta say, even though the record doesn't show it really. You know what I mean? The team, young players that can score. Dylan Larkin showed what he is made of. Definitely, we've seen a lot of that. Ottawa Senators, we knew they went into this rebuild, but the players I was really impressed with Matt Duchene, Mark Stone, and Ryan Dzingel. Actually playing fantastic, of course. All those three have went those separate ways into a new team. Vegas with Stone, Duchene with Nashville, now after being with Columbus, and now Dzingel, we don't know yet, after being with Columbus also. But, I think Ottawa will have a better year with a nice rebuilding. You have Brady Tkachuk and all that. But I think they're not going to make the playoffs yet. I'll talk about which one I think they'll make the playoffs. Moving on to the western side here, we have Chicago Blackhawks at 32, 34, and 12 for 84 points. The goaltenders were not that good. Scoring was okay. And then they sort of really light it up. after Jeremy Colleton came in. They lost 10 straight with Jeremy Colleton when he came in. Absolutely butchered it on that side. And then they started winning. Joe Quenneville started off really well, and then it just sunk. You know what I mean? After having a really good winning culture with them. But look at the Blackhawks. They have a bright future. A couple of trades, I would say, that I'm not impressed of what they did. Getting Olimata, Nylander, those things. I'm a little shaky about why they pick them up. About those. And the defense, the blue line, I'm a little concerned. But everything else, and getting rid of Cahoon, I think was a really bad mistake for Armada. That's going to show that Cahoon's a better player, and they did win the trade, definitely. Pittsburgh did. Looking at Minnesota, I'm confused. You're all probably confused. Are they a rebuilding team, or is it a team that's trying to make the playoffs? Literally. They said, oh, yeah, we're trying to make the playoffs. Oh, sorry, we got rid of Michael Granlund. We got rid of Charlie Coyle. We're going to be in our rebuild, but we still want to make the playoffs this year, and they did not. They were still in a playoff spot, too. And they're like, oh, whoops. And they're like, well, we're going to pick up Matthew Boldy with our pick. And, yeah, we got it. Woohoo. You know what I mean? But now, free agency, we're going to pick up Zuccarello and Hartman. We want to make the playoffs this year. If you're going to do a rebuild, you're going to have to do a full rebuild. Do not do your little thing half a year. Let me get back in the playoffs. We did a little rebuild. Doesn't look like that. The Pacific Division used to be really good with Anaheim in LA. Definitely was a really good. That was one of the tightest, and then fell off they faced with the Earth literally this year. Looking at Arizona, were 39-35 and 8 of 36 points. Really had a good end of season. Back-to-backs of having a good end of season. Just never can put in that end result of getting to the playoffs. Keller had a little of a down year, I got to say, but the whole team was pretty good. The thing they needed a goal scorer, and they pick up Phil Kessel over Galchenyuk. Even though, Phil Kessel, the better player, wins, I think that's a great pickup for them. They can help him score. Rick Tocchet knows Kessel, that's his favorite coach. Definitely he left in Pittsburgh with him until he left. And then the whole turmoil happened. Looking at Vancouver here, 35-36, 11-81 points. Vancouver started off pretty well, and then they dropped. You know what I mean? This team wants to make the playoffs next year. They got Myers. They got Ferland now. They got Jordy Bennett as that third-line pairing. They got those guys they want. They want to move on. They're like, we have Quinn Hughes in defense. We have Elias Pettersson. We have Brock Bessel. We have Bull Horban. Let's go. And after having an okay season, still not enough to impress. Even though they will, at times looking like they were going to make the playoffs. Anaheim started off really well. I thought they had really good depth, and then everything did not go as planned. Coaching, scoring, Gibson tired out all the time. Lacks of what happened with his goaltending, lack of ability, and then he just starts to play horrible. Gibson, after he gets really tired, if he's really healthy, he plays like any NHL goaltender. Absolutely fantastic goaltender. But looking at the stats here, 35, 37, and 10 with 80 points. You know what I mean? They need to score. They need to do that stuff. They did pick up Trevor Zegras. That's a really good pickup. Even though he gives away a little, he can score. He can do dangles. He can do all that stuff. Great pickup there. Moving on to the Oilers here. 35, 38, and 9 with 79 points. Another season of heartbreak. You know what I mean? 16 and 17 season looked like it was incredible. 17-18 season, it was a downer. 18-19 season, it was a downer again. Change the GMs, change the whole management, change the coaches, change everything up. Oilers are like, what is wrong with us? You know what I mean? They'll just change everything, get these guys out, get new guys in, coaching, GMs, management, all that stuff changed up now, literally like that. That's what they did. And Rick Tocchet coming in, having Ken Holland as the Red Wings GM before, bringing in a new guy. That's a new thing too. But we'll see what happens. Rick David wasn't happy with the season they had, last 2 seasons. We'll see if they can do something now. Moving on to LA, a team that been a very good team, winning two Stanley Cups in 2012, 2014, being that team, even in the 17 and 18 season, being a really good team. Quick being absolutely fantastic. Kopitar absolutely fantastic. You were Dowdy and everything fell apart. Quick didn't play like he was. He was absolutely fantastic. Quick in that Golden Knights, even though they lost and they got shut out. Quick was absolutely incredible in that series. If Quick was on the Golden Knights, he would have won it. Still, both goaltenders it was basically Fleury versus Quick. Literally, it was back and forth like that. But the teams fell apart. Quick, injuries mounting up. Is it his age now? Is it multiple things? What's gonna happen? We'll see. But now after talking about the downing years and all that now, let's talk about some positive things. What teams can I see make the playoffs next year? 19 to 2020 season, or have a really good year. Well, I like to check off some teams. I could see to myself, to the last 5 minutes to talk about this, is I think I see the Philadelphia Flyers definitely making it next year. They have Hayes, they have Couturier, they have Drew, they have Nolan Patrick, great centers. Maybe put Drew on that left wing and really make it incredible. They have defense, Jiskinen, definitely. That's a big pickup, what they have done. Getting a new team together, getting that defense a little bit older, just to get that seniorship to Gostisbehere, Provorov, Sanheim, those guys definitely. And having goaltending of Carter Hart and backup goaltender Brian Elliott, and Brian Elliott has played number one goaltending, definitely, with the Blues being into the conference final and many other seasons too. So he is capable of Hart's not doing his job, or can't, he's struggling a little, Elliott can take over. Rangers, I do not see that yet. Devils, I do not see. In my opinion, I do not see those teams making it just yet, because I think they need one more year to just solidify themselves and get together. I feel like it's just not enough yet. That's my opinion. You can put your opinion in the comments below, but that's what I think. Moving on, I think Montreal will make it. They have the goaltending. They have the scoring almost now. Maybe Cole Caulfield plays next year. Ryan Paling's been fantastic. Nick Suzuki, we'll see what happens to him. Max Domi, Shea Weber, Victor Mete, absolutely fantastic. Even though he hasn't scored his first goal, he's a plus 20. I gotta give it to them. It's absolutely fantastic team. Next one I have to give to is the Florida Panthers. I think they're making it. Sergei Bobrovsky being a goaltender now, that just solves everything. You know what I mean? Even if you didn't add anyone else and just added Bobrovsky, this team would probably be a playoff team. Now adding Colony, Stroman, many other players, that even adds even more depth. That team's in the playoffs, definitely. I don't know. I don't know about Sabres. This is one, to me, I am a little confused. I went to a question mark for this one. The thing is, they got the scoring, they got the forward depth, they got the defensive depth. Does that mean that Hutton and Normal can be the goaltending? That's my question. That's why I put the question mark. I'm not questioning about the forwards. I'm not questioning about the defense. I'm questioning about the goaltending. Looking at Detroit, I do not see it this year. I see great progress, but not this year. Sorry, Detroit fans. Moving on to Ottawa, I do not see it, but great rebuilding. They got some great players like Abranoff. Guys like that, they got from the Duchesne trade. That was actually a fantastic pick up there. And other things like Brandstrom picking up from the Golden Knights. I do like that, but I do not see that. I think they're going to have a big step, but not coming to the playoffs. Looking on the western side, do I see Chicago making it? I think I do. I'm not approved of the defense at all. Of the Mata, Dahan, all that stuff. I do approve of Robin Leno and Corey Crawford being an NHL duo of goaltenders, and I like the scoring and all that, but I do not like the defense. That's my question. But I do like what Chicago has. I think Robin Leno's going to be awesome. Wild, I'm a little confused. I think Zuccarello and Hartman are just not enough to make this team good. I just don't see enough for them. There's not enough to prove to me that team's a playoff team. I don't know. you know what I mean, Dartnell can show what he can, but the team can't. I don't know. Maybe Mac Dunbar becomes that guy and brings him back to that team again after being a whole year out. I don't know. Moving on to the Pacific Division, who do I think? Arizona, I think they're gonna have struggles again with scoring. Even though Phil Kessel's there, I think they're still gonna have troubles in scoring. Vancouver, I'm gonna actually give it to them. I think Markstrom is really gonna be that guy. He can be a great goaltender, definitely. They have faster than them because that backup goaltender. I think this is gonna be the year that Vancouver is gonna be desperate right now, saying we need to do it, like really desperate, trying to push themselves with Tyler Miles, with Elias Pettersson, Bo Warben, Brock Bessel, and Jordy Benn on that third pairing, getting these guys, Micah Furlan being that gritty guy. I think this is a great team. I think they have great depth. Definitely. They might not have the best players yet to make the All-Star, but they have Pettersson and Mark. They do have great players. And they got Vasi Bartikosin coming pretty soon. Not next year, maybe in 2 years, a possibility he might be able to get out of that second year of college, but who knows. But I think Vancouver can make it. With more of the depth, better on defense with Tyler Miles, I can see that, definitely. Anaheim, I do like what they're doing, but I do not see them making the playoffs next year. I do not. I'm sorry. I wish they did. I think they need a little bit more goal scoring. Definitely, I can see that. But that's all I see. Oilers, I think I do see it. And why do I see it? I like the Alex Chiasson pickup. Keeping in Edmonton. I like the whole thing with the whole team of Mike Smith coming. I think that's a great pickup. I think that's going to be a great thing with Mikko Koskinen. Great. Mike Smith can still play fantastically. I think the whole team with getting new players, some great players they have. I really feel like, you know what I mean? I don't know. I can see them now going somewhere. That's what I think. You know what I mean? Let me know in the comments below what you think about that. Like the video, bell, comment, share. Who do you think teams that have not made the playoffs last year, do you think they're making it this year? Which teams on this board do you think so? I'll see you next video. Any talking to support. We need 2 more subs to 100, and I'll see you next video.